And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Tokyo Highway. Now, the interesting thing about Tokyo Highway is how it looks. When you see Tokyo Highway set up on a table, you're like, ooh, what is that? It's a dexterity game. It's basically based on the Tokyo Highway and how it's grown. You know, it kind of is based on that, but you ever seen one of those highways where everything, you're like, how did the engineers make all these roads go? Am I on the right one? Please tell me, Google, am I on the right path? Well, in this one, you're building those crazy highways. Here's how it plays. At the beginning of the game, you're going to set it up something like this. Each player is going to have a road with one of their cars placed on it, and they're going to be about the length of one of these roads apart. Each player is going to get a certain number of roads and a certain number of pillars, a couple yellow ones, mostly gray ones, depending on the number of players. You're also going to put some buildings out here. These kind of serve as obstacles. On a player's turn, they have to build a column. So maybe I'll use these two and build a column here, for example, if I was the orange player. And they have to build the column so that it touches one of their current columns in play and the edge touches another one. And they can go up or down by one level. So let's say I did this. Maybe the green player, they want to go up by one level, but they don't want to go through that. So they're going to use one of their yellow ones. When you use a yellow column, you can go up by more than one level. So maybe they're going to go 3 levels here. And they're going to do this. Now when you cross or go under another road for the first time, you get to put a car out. And so the whole point of this game is to get your cars out first. So I put this car here. The game comes with these little tweezers in case you mess up something or somewhere. A yellow thing, you only have a couple of these, so you have to be careful how many times you use them. But also in the future, you might want to, you can split off from it. So maybe later on, the green player can place one down like this, and maybe also later on he might want to come in this direction too. And so players are just going to be building roads around. Like that. So maybe pink came underneath there. They're the first one to come underneath. Now it's not correct because you're watching the way that these cars get set up. But as time goes by, this can turn into something really cool looking. So here you can see a little bit maybe further into a game, and you're having crisscrossing paths. As you build each of these, you know, as I'm building, if you knock your own stuff off, that's not a problem. But if you knock some other people's things off, for each thing you knock off, you have to give them some of your pillars. And if you run out of stuff to put out, then you're out of the game. If you make your road go down to the ground, that's your exit of the highway, and you can put a car out there. And the object is to be the first one to get rid of all your cars. The person who does that is the winner of the game. That's how you play. The rules are pretty simple, only 2 pages. You just got to remember, the first one underneath or over someone else's, not your own road. You get to put out a car. These tweezers are pretty neat, but they're not as easy to put things on as, you're going to use your fingers for the most part. These are more when you're like really trying to get in somewhere. And as you can see, everything falls over. And the game is very easy to knock over. But the stuff, these are essentially popsicle sticks. They're long ones, delicious popsicles. The cars, the whole thing has a really nice look to it, but all the components are very, very durable. Everything fits inside a nice plastic insert where you'll be able to put all the different pieces. I like it a lot. Tokyo Highway leans precariously close to being a work of art first and a game second. It comes really close to people walking by and going, that's beautiful. But is it fun? And that's really kind of the question I ask myself, and I come to the conclusion that yes, it is fun. Yes, I do enjoy it, and part of it is because I am incredibly pleased when the game is over, win or lose, I am incredibly pleased with the aesthetic of the really neat game we made that time. Look on the internet for pictures of Tokyo Highway, and it won't be like, woo, I want to be like, look at this city we made, as you watch them crisscross back and forth, because you are trying to make your roads in such a way you cross as many of your opponents as you can without letting them cross yours. In fact, we played this live a few weeks ago, and Z thought that he would try a path of just running away and having everyone else knock their stuff over and not being able to put out their pieces, and he just made a path, and it did not work. Okay, that will not work. I don't think that's even a viable strategy, and I'm glad. The game forces you to come in and go over each other. Sure, if you have big, clumsy fingers and stuff, you'll have as much problem with this as any other game, if not more. At least with Jenga, you have fast, big pieces to pull out. Here you have tiny popsicle sticks and cars you're putting on them. The aesthetic, though, just is nice. You're done, you look at it, that's just great. So, really, I'm not going to pretend to talk here for a long time. Knowing when to use your yellows is great, but this is a dexterity game that just happens to look really neat. When compared to other games in the same genre, is it worth getting? For example, Men at Work just came out. But another game with really great aesthetics and pleasing visuals. I like that a lot. Does Tokyo Highway compare to that? Yeah, they're pretty similar. But Tokyo Highway feels like there's more strategy as to how you place your things. Men at Work is like, hey, just put this piece on. And that's fine. A lot of those games, like Jenga, it's just put a piece on, how you do it, and maybe some little variations there. This one, you are plotting a course. It's almost like the Tron bicycle racing game, but with a little bit of a three-dimensional twist involved in it. And I like that. So if this game looks appealing to you, you're like, that looks like fun, you'll probably like it. Hands down. If you're like, I don't know, then maybe it's not for you. As for me, though, not only is it pretty, but it's a fun game. Dice Tower Judgment approved.